basically where we were at, and it's a very interesting scenario. So a few months ago, our company's been working in the U.S. We've been in the government. We're supporting the government for cybersecurity really for the last 40 years. And it's been very amazing. We have worked really in the deep, dark depths of the government and supporting them, and decided from our leader, a gentleman named Jack Blunt, who's our CEO, that he felt that there was a better way to go for cybersecurity. I've been in the business for 25 years and have not seen that major paradigm shift that's occurred inside of cybersecurity. So with Jack's leadership and Jack's thought, where he's been in the industry for well over 40 years and involved in working with the government as well, he in fact was a part of ran cybersecurity during the Obama administration in the U.S. And we decided to take the service that we're offering, the product and service, and commercialize it. And there were some driving factors behind it. So some of the things that we see, number one, is we every day, as you well know, we all see evidence of failed cybersecurity. I mean, no matter when you watch the news, when you get a report, anything you see on LinkedIn, any of the other various sites out there, we obviously, there's quite a bit going on. The myths behind this are very interesting in what's happened. Overconfidence in firewalls. I think this is a great one because we're all conditioned inside the industry to believe to build a perimeter around our data, a perimeter around everything that we have. So there's a great amount of overconfidence in firewalls. When you look at this and think about this, every major breach that you've seen, in fact, every minor breach that you've seen, all have been tied to the fact that there's been a firewall involved there. So when you look at that process of saying, okay, we've got a firewall out there, everybody's conditioned to do the same thing over and over again, which is they get an alarm that goes off or an alert that goes off. Then they go through the reports and the logs to figure out where they're going to go and where the anomalies occurred, where the breaches occurred. And at that point, then they go through and they go through months and months sometimes of investigation, especially an organization has multiple firewalls. And then you bring a forensics team in to clean it up. Well, the bad news is you're already infected with what you have. So it makes for a pretty interesting situation. I think, you've seen some great historical looks at that, like the Target breach was one of very good. Obviously, the SolarWinds breach, which we'll touch on a little more here. Too much trust in the vendors. I think this quote from Bloomberg, the study showed in 2018, every PC that was manufactured in China had some sort of malware placed on it that was coming over to us. So everybody believes that what they're getting are clean machines, whether they're PCs, laptops, phones, all the devices out there. There is some constructed layer of anomaly that's now built into all these products that are coming into us. And, I said it's been backed up by Bloomberg. When Jack was running cyber in the Obama administration, they also tested 150 different products and found that every one of them had some level of built-in malware. IT professionals, once again, we keep hearing this day in and day out again. Current shortage of IT professionals, we're at 1.5 million. We're going to be at 2.5 million by the end of the year. People are moving around. We can't find enough smart people to address what's out there. And then the last part, which I mentioned earlier, that alerts can be researched and they can be resolved. But when you look at it and look at this fact alone, if you're running 10,000 alerts per day, you need over 2,000 IT professionals in order to address those 10,000 alerts. So we're basically where we've been for the last 25 years, working the way we're working in the cybersecurity industry is we're pushing a rock up a hill, and the hill continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we just continue to push the rock up the hill without any real, answers to getting things taken care of. So that's where Shield comes into play. So Shield is our commercial cybersecurity solution that's based on real-time AI, and you hear a lot of people talking about real-time AI. We are actually using it, and it's been quite successful. We can protect a company, anyone's company, any organization from zero-day attacks 24/7, 365 days a year. As long as you have the box on the network and you have it on, you are protected. And as we well know, working out from the recent SolarWinds event, it was a zero-day attack. And everything that we see out there in what we call cyber warfare now, because it really is warfare, is starts with a zero-day attack. It's the element of surprise, and you don't know it's coming. So mentioned the SolarWinds/Sunburst attack was the largest single breach in history. It started as a zero-day attack. It affected over 18,000 businesses, and that's continuing to grow. 16 government agencies in the U.S. have been identified. I don't have numbers for Canada. I apologize for that. We identified and killed Sunburst in early 2020. So when this first started to flare up and was starting to show up, our customers were completely protected. We identified the anomalies that were going on. We saw the attacks that were happening, and we were killing them. We weren't giving a warning. We weren't saying, oh, here's an alert, you've got a problem. We were killing them. That is the difference about what we do versus anyone else in the security marketplace. And as mentioned here, Microsoft source code was stole, SolarWinds source code was going. And the thing is that there are agents still on all these networks. So if you went in and plugged one of our shields in today, our shield box, then you're absolutely going to see within 5 minutes, we're going to start identifying anomalies on the network. And this ties into what we're talking about silent breaches. You've got the agents on there, you've got no alerts, they've gotten past the firewall, and it's just sitting dormant waiting to make a call back. This can be 1 to 3 years, it could be longer, it could be less. But with our particular offering with Shield, we can identify these things as they happen, and we stop the callback from occurring. We stop that callback from occurring. So whether it's inside out or outside in, we're protecting you both ways on your network. As mentioned before, these infections are coming from everywhere. We're seeing embedded chips, infected IoT devices, phishing emails, memory sticks, Wi-Fi's when you're in a hotel. Of course, with COVID, that's kind of slowed down a little bit. Your home network, someone in your neighbor's Wi-Fi network, if you decide you're going to tap into them for some reason. The constant barrage of agents that are breaching the firewall, the call homes that we talked about from inside your network, that's really one of the most dangerous things that are out there because of where you're at right now. With the fact is these things are sitting dormant on your network, and they're just waiting to make that call back. And when they make that call back and the line of communication opens up, you're in for nothing but disaster. So TikTok, Zoom, we've seen FireEye, we've seen Fortinet, and from all the manufacturers out there, the list just keeps going on and on and on. So what we're looking for is we're adding partners into our environment. We're asking you to shift your mindset on security and embrace the new paradigm. And our new paradigm is, number one, is to accept that all networks are infected and constantly reinfected. So no one has a clean network out there. It just doesn't exist. And the fact that we can plug our box in anywhere onto a network, usually behind a firewall, and we can start to identify anomalies. And on our dashboard, we can not only tell you what the anomalies are, but we can tell you where they're coming from too. So it's a pretty big wake-up call when you see it. Second of all, we implement real-time technology that kills malicious connections. Bottom line is no one else does that, but we do. It's real time. We identify it. What the phrase that I've used with our offering for Shield is plug, play, and kill. It's not giving you a warning. It's not giving you a red flag. It's not telling you that you need to go look at a log. We're identifying the anomaly. We're looking at it. We're killing it. We're absolutely taking it out of play, whether it's coming from the inside out or the outside in. And number three, as I mentioned before, never turn it off. Once you're on, you're protected, and we're working 24/7, 365. It never turns off. So as I mentioned before, we apply real-time AI to what we have, which is 40 years of big data cloud, IP addresses and other variable information from security that we've collected in the work that we've done, especially inside the government, which has given us the opportunity to build, as mentioned before, the world's largest database that we have out there. Our AI is extremely fast. We immediately kill malicious connections. I mean, and that's really what it comes down to. A lot of people say you can't do this, it doesn't work. I've had people, we put boxes on their network and they look at it, they start killing things. They can't believe the things that are on there. And they go, and they still can't wrap their head around how we do it. But we have the biggest database out there with a tremendous engine that supports it on the AI side. So based on what we've done, TraceCop and Savant are really the two pieces of this that we put Shield on top of. That's the database that I spoke of, and our sensors that are there. We've applied the AI to that, and that's where Shield comes out of. So basically, putting the AI on top of a historically well-built, well-run solution that's been running for a multitude of years, and now, as mentioned before, we're taking it out to the commercial marketplace through the partner community. So, also, as I mentioned, inside-out security. When you look at this, like I said, the only solution market kills in real-time malicious elements operating within the network. It's plug and play. It's built on open Dell architecture. Basically, it's a one cable connection into your network, and boom, you're good to go. We start working immediately. Daily system updates. So the database continues to grow. So we're never going to see that. I can't share with you the exact number that we have out there, but I can tell you that the number of IP addresses that we have out there in the database are in the multi-billions. So it's a pretty big number comparatively when you say, well, I've got a firewall and I've got 250,000 IP addresses on it. We may be 20, 30x to what's on any existing firewall out there. And a firewall is just a warning device. That's all it is. A firewall is as good as what you're going to put into it. No contract required, monthly service fee. And working with the partners, we have a partner program in place that we can bring you on board, and we'll work with you with not only the sales side, but the marketing side, and also the business development side. So when you look at our unique value and where we're at and what we do, we protect technology companies from theft of intellectual property. We protect business from ransomware attacks that steal millions of dollars. We protect the medical industry from patient records. We protect all businesses from more sophisticated cybercrime. There's been a note out there that's basically a printed story that's been out there quite a while that has said that most small businesses after 6 months of a major cyber attack go out of business. So we can protect you in that environment as well. We provide the reporting data that CEOs and CFOs, if they're going to be your customers, they can go to their board and they can actually show that there's value in what we're providing there, and they're safe from cybercrime and cyber warfare. We automate this whole process. We're killing hundreds of thousands of connections out there on a daily basis, and depending upon the size of your network, and that equates into saving hundreds of thousands of man hours. So if your IT people are de facto security people, they can actually go back to being IT people again. And the other part of this that's really interesting is we open every packet of data on the network. We examine it, we identify, and we kill the dangerous connections. And as mentioned before, we'll put a box out on the network. 5 minutes after we're out there, we're killing malware, we're killing the connections. We're doing it real time, as mentioned, real time all the time without any human involvement. So we really are changing the scope. And like I said, I've been in this business for 25 years. I have not seen the paradigm shift that's occurring that we have out there today that we're bringing to the table. So with that, let's see, tried to get the stop sharing going. There we go. With that, we are, in a great position to talk with you. We'd love to work with you. I'm building the partner network out there. We're looking for Canadian channel partners. We think the sky's the limit for where we can go with this. It gives you a great opportunity. We're not going to flood the marketplace with a lot of partners. We want good security partners who can engage us and people who are committed to selling the next generation of cybersecurity. That's all I got. Thank you.